Hello everyone. I had several questions and inquiries on this little Apex trailer I made for the Redcat to match the Apex rig. Just make a quick video here, show you how I did it. First of all, the tongue and the axle are from an Endura off-road trailer, one of these. And how I acquired an extra tongue and axle was I had purchased one of these trailers to make this rig here. So this shell back here is basically this camper minus the axle and tongue, and I was able to fit everything on an IR60 body. But that's where that came from. So first of all, you will need basically an axle and a tongue from this trailer. There may be other ways to make this, but this was the easiest way that I found, just because I had these extra pieces from this laying around. First of all, you just want to get the dimensions of the bed. I used 1/8 inch plywood, just a piece of plywood. Trace this out so you end up basically with something like this to match the contour of the bed. When you flip this over, you'll see mine there. There's a body line on the bed. That body line will be the perfect stop for when you place this plywood down in the bed of the truck. That body line will stop that plywood from going any further, which is good because you want a little bit of space between the plywood and the top of the bed, because you're going to use that plywood to insert screws to secure everything. But anyhow, once you drop this in there and it lays where it needs to lay, you'll need to glue that plywood and the bed of the truck together so it becomes one piece. And then once you do that, it's just a matter of getting the correct heights for your tongue, and then setting the axle placement where you want it. In order for me to get the correct height on the tongue, which you see there, I had to take a piece of plywood, add some thickness so it stands off of the plywood that we put in the bed. It stands off of that about 3/4 of an inch. And then I was able to take the tongue, screw it into that. I have a very, very strong connection there. After that, all you have to do is get the placement of your axle height-wise. I chose mine to look like that because basically on my truck it's very, very close. And the way I did that was just make height adjustments in the front and the rear. Make sure you have the wheel clearance on your fender. And then all we'll do is, this is where the plywood comes in handy, is find yourself the correct size screws and just screw in the pre-drilled holes that are already on the axle from the Endura trailer. And then on the front, the truck body comes with some holes already in it. That's to connect it to the cab, if you wanted to do that when you buy the body. But anyway, to remedy that, I just have some black grip tape, and I was able to cut the grip tape to size, formed it, and then that's how I covered up the front of the trailer. Covers any holes that were already pre-drilled from Redcat. So anyway, that's basically how I did this. You can use whatever wheels and tires you want. You can set your axle higher or lower, and it's a pretty simple trailer, but it works very well and looks very nice behind the rig. So hope this helps. That's how I did it, and hope you guys can use it. Thanks for watching.